Please subscribe to the channel before watching the video. Fairness is a fairy tale we tell children to get them to share their toys. In the real world, fairness is a coping mechanism for the defeated. Look at the people who actually run the world, the billionaires, the generals, the shadow brokers. Do you think they got there by playing fair? Do you think they waited for their turn? No. They cut the line. They rigged the game. They understood that while the masses are fighting for scraps, using the rules of morality, the masters are operating on a completely different set of physics. You are watching this because you are tired. You are tired of working hard and seeing lazy people get promoted. You are tired of being the good guy and finishing last. You sense that there is a hidden back door to success that no one is showing you. You are right. There is. I'm going to hand you the keys to that back door. I am going to give you 7 ruthless rules of asymmetric warfare. These are not hacks. These are psychological weapons. They will give you an advantage so severe that people will call it luck. They will call it talent. They will call it unfair. Good. Let them. Rule 1. The Siniaglia strategy. Total elimination of resistance. Most men fight wars of attrition. They argue. They compete. They struggle against their rivals day after day, wearing themselves down. This is the strategy of the fool. Cesare Borgia, the son of the Pope and the model for Machiavelli's prince, did not fight attrition. He fought decisive unfair battles. In 1502, Borgia's captains revolted against him. They were powerful, dangerous men. They had armies. Borgia could have gone to war with them. He could have fought them on the battlefield, risking his money, his men, and his reputation. It would have been fair. He didn't. Instead, he offered them a truce. He offered them money. He offered them higher ranks. He played the role of the forgiving, weakened leader. He soothed their egos. He made them feel safe. He invited them to a feast in the city of Siniaglia to celebrate their new alliance. The moment they walked into the room, smiling and unguarded, Borgia gave a signal. His guards stepped out of the shadows. He strangled every single one of them. In 1 hour, he accomplished what would have taken 10 years of war. This is the lesson. You are trying to be better than them. Stop. You need to identify the threat and neutralize it before the competition even begins. How does this apply to you in a modern office in a business? If you have a rival, do not argue with them in meetings. Do not try to outshine them with louder ideas. That is the battlefield. Instead, make them feel safe. Agree with them. Praise them. Draw them close. Let them lower their guard. And then when they are comfortable, you let them make the mistake. You let them overextend. You let them take the project that is destined to fail. And you encourage them to do it. You hand them the rope, and you watch them hang themselves. You do not need to push them. Gravity will do the work. But gravity only works if they are standing on the edge. Your job is to guide them there, smiling the whole time. This is the unfair advantage of the smile. The enemy you can see is dangerous. The friend who is secretly an enemy is lethal. Be the friend. Rule 2. The law of information asymmetry. In the age of the internet, everyone thinks they know everything. This is your greatest opportunity because while everyone is drowning in data, almost no one has intelligence. Data is noise. Intelligence is the specific secret that changes the outcome. Nathan Rothschild, the banking tycoon, understood this. Legend says that during the Battle of Waterloo, he didn't rely on the public news couriers. He had his own network of private boats and riders. He knew Napoleon had lost a full day before the British government did. While the London Stock Exchange was crashing in panic, everyone thinking Napoleon had won, Rothschild was buying. He bought everything for pennies. When the official news arrived the next day, the market skyrocketed. He didn't just make money. He bought the British economy. He had an unfair advantage because he had the information first. You are operating with the same information as everyone else. That is why you are average. You read the same news. You watch the same tutorials. You have the same degrees. To become an outlier, you must cultivate the spy network in your company. Do you know the secretary? Not just hello. Do you know her? Do you know what the CEO is stressed about? Do you know which department is getting budget cuts before the memo goes out? In your market, do you know what your competitors are terrified of? You must become a vacuum of secrets. People love to talk. They love to feel important. If you learn to listen, really listen, with a silence that invites them to fill the void, they will tell you everything. They will tell you their weaknesses. They will tell you their plans. Machiavelli said, "A wise prince should gather information from all sides, but keep his own counsel. No more than you speak." When you enter a negotiation, you should already know the other person's breaking point. You should know what they need versus what they say they want. When you know the cards in their hand, you are not gambling, you are collecting. Rule 3, weaponized pragmatism, the death of ideology. Here is a hard truth. Your morals are slowing you down. I'm not telling you to be a criminal. I am telling you to be a pragmatist. Most people are rigid. They have principles that are really just disguised fears. I won't do that. It feels like selling out. I won't work with him. I don't like his vibe. I want to win, but I want to win my way. This is arrogance. The world does not care about your way. The world cares about results. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote The Prince not to teach evil, but to teach effectiveness. He observed that the leaders who tried to be good all the time got slaughtered. They were devoured by those who were not good. To have an unfair advantage, you must be fluid. You must be able to wear the mask that the situation demands. If you are dealing with a conservative boss, you become the most conservative, risk-averse employee in the room. If you are dealing with a visionary investor, you become a radical dreamer. This is not lying. This is adaptability. Water has no shape, yet it carves through rock. Be water. Look at the most successful people in history. They changed their political parties. They changed their allies. They changed their philosophies. Not because they were confused, but because the terrain changed. Winston Churchill crossed the floor of Parliament twice. He went from conservative to liberal and back to conservative. People called him a traitor. History calls him the savior of the West. If he had stayed rigid, he would have been a footnote. You are holding on to identities that do not serve you. You are saying, I am an introvert, so you don't network. You are saying, I am a creative, so you don't learn finance. Kill those labels. They are chains. The person with the unfair advantage is the one who can be whoever they need to be in the moment. Can you sit with a king and be regal? Can you sit with a beggar and be humble? Can you sit with a killer and be dangerous? If you can only be one thing, you are easy to trap. If you can be anything, you are impossible to catch. Rule 4, the art of manufactured necessity. Why do you fear losing your job? Why do you fear losing your partner? Because you are replaceable. It hurts to hear, but it is the truth. If you left tomorrow, the system would hiccup, and then it would replace you. As long as you are replaceable, you have no leverage, and without leverage, you have no advantage. You must apply the law of dependency. Machiavelli wrote, "Men will always be false to you unless they are compelled by necessity to be true." You cannot rely on people liking you. Liking is a weak emotion. It fluctuates. It vanishes when things get hard. You must rely on people needing you. You must become the bottleneck. In every system, there is one point where everything converges. In a business, maybe it's the person who owns the relationship with the biggest client. Maybe it's the only engineer who understands the legacy code. Maybe it's the person who knows where the money is actually hidden. Find that choke point. Occupy it. Do not teach others how to do what you do. This sounds counterintuitive. HR tells you to share knowledge. HR wants you to be replaceable so they can fire you and hire someone cheaper. The outlier hoards knowledge. You make yourself the only key that fits the lock. When you are the only one who can solve the specific painful problem that terrifies your boss, you can do whatever you want. You can come in late. You can demand a raise. You can dictate terms. Why? Because they cannot afford to lose you. Pain is the greatest negotiator. If losing you causes them pain, you own them. If losing you is just an inconvenience, they own you. Look at your life right now. Who needs you? Truly needs you? If the answer is no one, you are in a state of emergency. You are a commodity, and commodities are traded, used, and discarded. Build a skill set that is rare. Hoard a relationship that is exclusive. Control a resource that is scarce. Make yourself the oxygen in the room. When you are the oxygen, you don't have to fight for respect. They will suffocate without you. Rule 5. The OODA loop. Speed as a weapon. Most people lose because they are too slow. They overthink. They create prospects. They have meetings about meetings. They wait for perfect conditions. While they are polishing their plan, the predator has already eaten. The military strategist John Boyd developed the OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide, act. The pilot who can cycle through this loop faster than his enemy wins. If I can react to your movement before you have finished making it, I am inside your timeline. I own your reality. The unfair advantage belongs to the swift. You are hesitating. You have an idea for a channel, a business, a project. But you are researching. You are preparing. Research is often just procrastination in a suit. Cesare Borgia conquered the Romagna because he moved his armies in winter. No one fought in winter. It was cold. It was hard. It was impossible. So his enemies went to sleep. They waited for spring. Borgia didn't wait. He marched through the snow. He arrived at their gates while they were still in bed. He won because he rejected the standard timeline. You need to compress your timelines. If you think a project will take a month, do it in a week. If you think a decision needs a week, make it in an hour. What happens when you move at this speed? You break the rhythm of everyone around you. Your competitors cannot keep up. Your enemies cannot predict you because you are moving faster than their logic allows. Speed creates chaos, and the outlier thrives in chaos. When you act fast, you make mistakes. Yes, but because you are fast, you can fix them before anyone notices. The slow person makes a mistake, and it defines them for a year. The fast person makes a mistake, corrects it, pivots, and wins, all while the slow person is still filing the paperwork. Be aggressive. Be sudden. Machiavelli said, "Fortune is a woman, and if you wish to keep her under, it is necessary to beat and ill-use her. She allows herself to be mastered by the adventurous, rather than by those who go to work more coldly. The universe rewards momentum. It punishes hesitation. If you want the advantage, stop asking for permission. Just move. Pause. Feel the resistance rising in you. Some of you are listening to this, and your conditioning is fighting back. You are thinking, but this sounds manipulative. This sounds cold. This isn't nice. You are right. It isn't nice. Nature is not nice. History is not nice. The economy is not nice. You have been raised in a nursery, protected by artificial rules. But you are not in the nursery anymore. You are in the wild. The sheep thinks the wolf is mean. The wolf does not care. The wolf is fed. You have a choice. You can hold on to your niceness and be the victim of those who don't. Or you can integrate your shadow. You can become capable of these things and then choose when to use them. A peaceful man is not a man who cannot fight. A man who cannot fight is just a victim in waiting. A peaceful man is a man who can destroy you, but chooses not to. That is the only position of true morality. Strength. We have two more rules. The darkest ones. The ones that require you to look into the mirror and kill the part of you that needs to be liked. Are you ready? Rule 6. The law of strategic silence. The void. We live in a world of noise. Everyone is broadcasting. Everyone is signaling. Look at me. Validate me. Hear me. This is why they are weak. When you talk, you reveal. You reveal your intentions. You reveal your intelligence or lack of it. You reveal your insecurities. Information is power. And when you speak, you are giving your power away for free. The person with the unfair advantage is the void. Imagine a negotiation. One person is talking nervously, filling the silence, explaining their position, justifying their price. The other person is sitting back, watching, saying nothing. Who is in control? The silent one. Silence makes people uncomfortable. They project their fears into the silence. If you don't speak, they assume you are thinking something profound. Cardinal Mazarin, the great French statesman, had a motto: simulate and dissimulate. And above all, know how to remain silent. You must train yourself to be comfortable with the awkward pause. When someone insults you, do not snap back. Look at them. Hold the silence for 3 seconds. Watch them squirm. Your silence says your words are too small to impact me. When you have a big plan, do not post it on social media. Do not tell your friends. The dopamine hit you get from telling people your goals actually reduces the drive you have to achieve them. It tricks your brain into thinking you've already done it. Keep it in the dark. Mushrooms grow in the dark. Diamonds form in the dark. Power builds in the dark. Build in silence. Let your results be the explosion. People should be shocked by your success because they didn't see it coming. They didn't see the work. They didn't hear the announcements. They just saw the lightning strike. Be the lightning, not the thunder. Thunder is just noise. Lightning does the damage. Rule 7. The reputation of unpredictability. If I know what you are going to do, I can defeat you. If you are a nice guy, I know you will back down if I press hard enough. If you are greedy, I know I can buy you. If you are proud, I know I can bait you with insults. Predictability is death. To have an unfair advantage, you must be irrational, or at least appear to be. Nixon used this in the Cold War. It was called the madman theory. He wanted the Soviet Union to believe that he was volatile, that he was crazy enough to push the nuclear button. Because they thought he might be crazy, they walked on eggshells. They made concessions. They feared him. If you are always consistent, people get comfortable. They take you for granted. Sometimes you need to break the pattern. If you are always available, suddenly disappear. If you are always calm, suddenly show a flash of cold anger. If you are always agreeable, suddenly say no to a small request without explanation. This keeps people off balance. It reminds them that you are a dangerous entity. It reminds them that your favor is not guaranteed. Machiavelli said it is better to be feared than loved. Why? Because love is given by them, and they can take it away. Fear is compelled by you. You control it. I am not telling you to be a terror. I am telling you to be respected. And respect comes from the understanding that you are capable of walking away, capable of saying no, and capable of changing the game. Do not be the dog that comes every time it is whistled for. Be the cat that watches, decides, and moves only when it wants to. These 7 rules are the foundation. They are the weapons you carry in your pocket. But weapons are useless if the hand that holds them is shaking. You can hold the sword of Caesar, but if your hand is weak, you will drop it. You can know the secrets of Rothschild, but if your mind is scattered, you will squander them. The 7 rules gave you the external mechanics of power. But the true unfair advantage, the one that no one can steal from you, is internal. It is the architecture of your own psychology. Most people are building skyscrapers on a swamp. They learn tactics, but they have no foundation. They get a little bit of success, and their ego collapses it. They get a little bit of money, and their impulses drain it. To keep the advantage, you must become a vessel capable of holding it. Machiavelli was not just a political theorist. He was a psychologist of power. He understood that the greatest threat to a prince was not the assassin in the hallway, but the delusion in the mirror. You have 3 internal enemies that are stripping you of your advantage right now. We are going to identify them, and we are going to execute them. Enemy 1, the addiction to validation, the puppet strings. Look at your last 5 actions. Did you do them because they moved you forward, or did you do them because you wanted someone to say, "Good job"? The need for validation is a leash, and the moment you put it on, you hand the handle to society. The outlier does not operate for applause. He operates for effect. When you post your gym selfie, you are trading the internal power of discipline for the cheap currency of likes. You are selling your gold for plastic. Stop it. The most dangerous man is the one who does the work in the dark and refuses to show it. Why? Because he is building internal pressure. He is not releasing the energy. He is compressing it. When you keep your wins to yourself, you grow a sense of superiority, not arrogance, gravity. You walk into a room knowing what you have done, knowing what you are capable of, and you don't need anyone to confirm it. That is an unfair advantage, because while everyone else is dancing for attention, you are watching them. And the watcher always controls the performer. Enemy 2, the fear of being the bad guy. We are raised on cartoons where the hero is always nice, always honest, and always wins. This is programming designed to make you a worker bee. In the real world, effective people are often disliked. If you want to change anything, your life, your bank account, your industry, you are going to upset the status quo. You are going to make people jealous. You are going to make people uncomfortable. If you are afraid of that, you will unconsciously sabotage your own success. Just stay safe in the herd. You must develop the stomach for conflict. It is okay to be the villain in someone else's story, as long as you are the hero in yours. If you fire an incompetent employee to his family, you are the villain. To your business, you are the savior. Who are you loyal to? If you stop drinking with your loser friends to build your business, to them you are arrogant. To your future self, you are loyal. Pick your loyalty. You cannot save everyone. Attempting to do so is just vanity disguised as altruism. Enemy 3, the illusion of tomorrow. I'll start on Monday. I'm waiting for the right time. This is the language of the prey. The predator lives in the eternal now. There is no tomorrow. Tomorrow is a concept. It is a hallucination. The only thing that is real is this second. The unfair advantage is the ability to close the gap between thought and action. Most people have a gap of days, weeks, or years. I should write a book. 10 years later, I should write a book. The outlier thinks I should write a book. And that night, he writes the first chapter. Shrink the gap. If you can shrink the gap between idea and execution to 0, you become terrifying. You become a force of nature. While others are planning, you are doing. While they are correcting, you are finishing. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, talked about the shadow. It is the part of you that you hide. The aggression, the greed, the desire for dominance, the coldness. Society tells you to repress this. Be nice. Be humble. But repression creates sickness. It creates weak men who explode in weird ways. The Machiavellian path is not to repress the shadow, but to integrate it. You need your aggression. You need it to defend your boundaries. You need it to close the deal. You need it to wake up at 4 a.m. when your body wants to sleep. You need your greed. You need it to demand what you are worth. You need it to refuse to settle for mediocrity. Don't kill the monster. Leash the monster and use him to pull your chariot. A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a dangerous man who has his danger under voluntary control. Be dangerous. So where does this leave us? You now have the 7 ruthless rules, the synagogia strategy. Eliminate resistance through deception, not attrition. Information asymmetry. Know what they don't know. Weaponized pragmatism. Fluidity over ideology. Be what the moment needs. Manufactured necessity. Be the oxygen they cannot breathe without. The UDA loop. Speed kills. Move faster than their logic. Strategic silence. The void that compels them to reveal the truth. Unpredictability. The fear that commands respect. And you have the internal citadel. Kill the need for validation. Accept the role of the villain. Integrate the shadow. When you combine these, you stop playing the game on hard mode. You stop begging the world for permission. You stop waiting in line. You realize that the door was never locked. You are just too polite to kick it open. This is not about being evil. It is about being effective. It is about respecting your own potential, enough to stop handicapping yourself with the rules of the mediocre. The world is not waiting for you to succeed. The world is indifferent. It will grind you down if you let it. But if you apply these rules, if you become the outlier, because the world always makes way for the man who knows exactly where he is going and who carries a sword to clear the path. But be warned, once you start applying these rules, you will change the people around you. The ones who love you for your weakness will get uncomfortable. They will say you've changed. They will try to pull you back into the bucket. This is the final test. Can you stand alone? Can you walk the path when the herd is going the other way? Most people can't. The pressure of conformity is the heaviest weight in the universe. That is why the top is lonely, but the view is worth it. Are you ready to pay the price? Think about that. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. There are videos I cannot upload for everyone. There are aspects of dark psychology that I simply cannot discuss publicly. The algorithm suppresses the most powerful information. Those exist behind the join button. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want what's hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche. Most won't. That's the point.